So, welcome back to another scene for This Life, the Get a Fenris game set in the Sept of the Hearth's Fire in Duluth, Minnesota, where we have our camera pan in on the crags, actually, as opposed to all the other places we have available. Today it will be the crags. And I have not bothered to check, but I imagine there's still snow on the ground. Minnesota is good for snow. They're good at it. So we've probably got a decent little cover of snow going on. The crags nonetheless continue to echo and howl, the wind whipping through, creating noises, only joined and further complicated by the number of people who speak, who sing, who howl into the cacophony. And it is there, in fact, that Charlotte has holed herself up. She knows where a couple people tend to perch, to meditate, to reflect, to do whatever it is they do. And so over time and a couple trips out, she has found a little stoop for herself, a portion of the crags, a nice little outward jut that thus far has been unoccupied and thus seemed like fair game. And so she is nestled up there. In fact, nested in pretty good. She's still draped over her winter clothes with that poncho that she has been wearing a good bit, especially with it being cold. I mean, it's just practical, really.
Like 40 degrees outside. There's people are dying. It's terrible.
Yeah. So she's got, admittedly, underneath the poncho has proper heavy winter clothes. She's probably still got like the trendy little hat and scarf going on because it's fucking cold, guys. It's really cold.
No, this if you actually live in Minnesota, that's like it's breezy. It's fine.
Look, she's a recent
Melanthe is dying. Okay. Dying.
So yeah, Melanthe can either wander the top of the crags or wander through that the chasm where it's admittedly where most people walk and is probably reasonably ice free or stomped down or I mean it's really anyone's guess, but it's pretty uneven, so there should be places for shoes to grip as Charlotte is nested in up on her little stoop. This is her stoop. She's a gargoyle now.
She's a woman on a mission, actually. So although, bundled up, she's not dwelling too much on the cold, although it has been kind of damp lately. So she's, sleeping outside has been interesting. With the cold and the snow and the rain and then more snow and then the rain again and the cold. But anyway, it's dry at the moment and she's concentrating on something. She is either going to find Charlotte the normal way or she's gonna like right of the questing stone her boots or something.
No lie, it'd be pretty effective. It is up to you. You could either like alertness check it or just happen to spot her up there. If nothing else, the poncho kind of stands out. Ain't no one else here wearing Wendigo clothes.
Yeah, the poncho is actually pretty good thing to go looking for, but she will try the normal way first. Like, I'm just gonna go look for somebody the same way you look for anybody.
Using my feet and my eyeballs.
Yep.
I mean, that's at least 1-9. One's all it takes, man. One is all it takes.
Well, she's not hiding, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Like, it's not the most convenient thing to scope for, but yeah, with a 9, I dare say you should be able to spot her. You get a flash of the color from the poncho. And it's like, aha!
Got you. But yeah, she will make her way through the rocks and the mud. Honestly. Probably mud. And head up towards where Charlotte is crouched like a gargoyle.
I mean, you might think she was crouched. And people say money can't buy happiness. But it can, however, buy fabulous little picnic style blankets that may be even a little cushy, maybe even a little waterproof on one side. Can buy all sorts of things. And that is what she is nested up slash wrapped in. So she's got a pretty solid thing going up here. It looks like she makes habit enough of this to have the appropriate accoutrement to be sitting out in the fucking snow. And let's see how alert she really is. I'm gonna raise her diff because she is not really paying attention. See how long it takes her to figure out you're coming. And that's one success. So it'll probably be like right about time you've clambered your way up. Uh, it's really anyone's debate how much of a bitch that process is. But it's not until you actually like step off kind of onto the area or the little walk to where she's perched that Charlotte finally kind of breaks out of whatever reverie or thought process she's locked in and finally kind of glances aside, blinking a few times. Oh, hey. What's up?
Hey.
Is something wrong?
The list is long and varied, but no, we've been up here a while. And she kind of like digs into her coat and hauls out a large thermos.
Sure, we'll at least have the hospitality to kind of unwrap herself and drape this tarpy blankety monstrosity out and scooch over to give Melanthe a place to plop. She will duly sit down because she's going to sacrifice blanket warmth, and the least I can do is actually make use of it. So yeah, she will sit down. Look, it's important. If you sit in the snow, you get a wet booty. So
yep, nobody likes that.
No.
But yes, there's a giant thermos of tea offered.
This seems like a valid trade-off. Dry booty for hot tea. And yeah, so Charlotte won't. I mean, she doesn't ask. She doesn't. I mean, for all she knows, there's cocoa in there. It could be anything, really. It's a thermos. It's a pretty good hint that it's warm, especially when you take the cap off and there's steam. But no, she just takes like an experimental little sniff so she knows what to expect roughly, and sips out of it, kind of nodding over. Thanks. Kind of stops thinking about how cold it is after a minute. Reaches up and kind of rubs her nose.
It's chamomile.
No.
And the burrito cart has been missed.
I mean, you sure? We were gone for like, well, it was more than a week. I'm still not really clear on how long we were out.
I've honestly lost track.
I was, she kind of absently offers the tea back so that they can, kind of share back and forth.
She'll take some and sip it a little bit.
I was, you saw the place the Coggies put together, right? The side glances.
Yeah, that's colorful.
She kind of grins faintly. It's kind of weak for Charlotte, but she does grin a bit and shrugs. I mean, they're giving away food there too. And Brad was at Coggy. I was thinking about letting them have the cart. Could still fund the food.
It's not a bad idea.
I mean, Zuri and Cassie were usually the ones that subbed in for me when I needed it anyways. I could still take it up when they needed me, but she kind of shrugs.
They still need you.
But yeah. No, I guess I just haven't really found my rhythm again yet.
I don't think anyone has except maybe Alice, and I'm not sure about that.
I mean, that seems kind of like a new rhythm. Kind of side glances again. Again, reaccepting, sipping out of, and offering back the tea.
Yeah, they're just kind of trading it back and forth.
Mm-hmm.
There's honey in it. I'm sure it's very surprising.
God damn it. Super surprising.
Definitely new. She's more talkative than before.
I mean, I could usually get her to talk. Is she talking more to other people too?
I haven't been talking to a lot of people, so I'm probably the wrong one to ask, but she approached me and initiated a conversation. So that's new.
Kind of anomalous, really.
A what?
Weird. Different
Okay.
than the norm. But yeah. You guys okay? Kind of quirks a brow. There's clear worry lines there.
I do not have issue with the way Alice conducted herself on the mission.
You know what? I will just nod and accept that and try not to look too carefully into the phrasing. Pitches a grin at the sigh. Ah, but seriously, that's good.
Most of us, as far as I can tell, just did what we had to.
Yeah. Oh, did I show you this? She finally kind of goes digging into the poncho. There's a pocket in there somewhere.
Hmm?
Check this out. It actually brings a little bit of an earnest smile to her face again, and she pulls out a photo and offers it over.
She will take the photo and take a look at it. Like, trade
And
back the thermos in exchange. Like,
yep,
here, hold this.
that's a legitimate exchange. So she's got her hands wrapped around the thermos, and kind of pointing her nose at the photo. It's a photograph of Long Shadow and this fairly young Lupus. Like you could still call it a pup. Uh, Very striking resemblance to Rhyme, actually. I think he said that was one of the youngest Rhymes. There's a lot
Oh,
of them, it seems like.
well, that's good.
I mean, I thought.
Well, good that he has people to go back to.
Mhm.
I've never. The middle of Greece is not exactly a hotbed of worm activity. I had been sheltered, I guess, from
Oh,
things
God.
quite this. Well, sometimes more actively. You know what? Never mind. But
It's pretty bad out here.
I had never seen that many people die
Yeah.
all at once.
Yeah. No, I've was part of the dead pack. She says this with a shrug and kind of this, you know, in fact, I'll invite a peony on that to get at it.
Sure.
See how deep you can get on it. So
Reasonably deep.
Yep. It's kind of sarcastic and a little over the top, but I mean, Melanthe may not talk to people all the time, but she watches them a good bit, and she's at least Charlotte never shuts up and is pretty expressive. So she manages to kind of get in there a little. And yeah, it's kind of over the top and kind of sarcastic, but it's clearly her making it a little extra to cover up the fact that it it gets at her. She's kind of playing it up a little to play it off. Part of the dead pack, so but it's only usually been, one person drops at a time. Things just kind of go sideways sometimes. And she'll finally offer the tea back and hold the hand out for the photo.
She'll hand it back with reasonable speed.
Oh, yeah. She doesn't look like twitchy about it, just...
Yeah, but, Yeah. And she'll take another swallow of the tea. And then kind of... Actually, finally, look at... Like, I'm gonna make eye contact now. How are you doing? Honestly.
Everything sucks, and everything I love is gonna die, maybe.
Eventually.
I mean, inevitably, but potentially sooner rather than later. I know I haven't really been doing my usual shit, but
basically none of it. Yeah.
Yeah. There's the little nod, maybe. Yeah. But, when I got back, Felix got us an apartment. And I can't even stay in it.
What?
I can't we can't.
Why?
She finally kind of glances at the photo one more time and tucks it. I'm pretty sure I really pissed off some weird, tentacle porn flavor of vampire. Okay, not tentacle porn, but it's weird, and he scares the shit out of me.
The look on her face is priceless. It's some strange combination of disbelief, disgust, and horror.
Now, at the very least, it kind of startles Charlotte into a grin, just because that is a face right there. That is a fucking face.
It's pretty clear that her brain just fastened on tentacle porn and just... What?
Okay. Not porn, but I mean, it brought together a mental image, didn't it? No, just this
It's
fucking
slimy.
Actually, I mean, it was cold more than slimy.
The disgust and horror are not improving. It's just ugh.
Really freaky, bone-chilling cold, but not slimy. No, there is this fucking... I mean, there are leeches in the city. That's a thing. That's just a thing.
It's a city.
Yeah, exactly. She kind of gestures see, you get it.
That's
exactly
one of the reasons we don't like them.
Fair. Kind of points at her okay, fair. But this one really doesn't like me. And
why?
I read a passage. I might have fucked with his Dougie.
His what?
I fucked with his I don't know, evil plan or something. I don't know. It was a Philodox rite of passage. So
she raises a fist, shakes it, curses, foiled again.
I mean, it was more like Perfidy and Siege Engine had to get me out with a fighting retreat, but apparently he was pretty mad and he's still around.
To state the obvious, you might wish to fix that.
Yeah, I would really love to fix that, but the last time I saw him, she just kind of shakes her head. He looked me in the fucking face and he told me to call off my backup. And I did.
Why?
I don't know.
Why would you?
She's making the most helpless little gestures. Like, I don't know. And then I gave him my phone.
You what?
She just kind of nods. Like, I just, he asked for it and I just gave it to him.
You gave away your phone. Your phone
Yeah.
to a leech.
Yeah.
Your phone.
I didn't want
That
to.
is like your soul.
But then I did it, and I don't know. Uh, it was bad.
You need. And she reaches up a finger and just like taps Charlotte in the middle of the forehead. You need protection. That is
Fucking scary.
Mm.
You want to know what happened next? That's also bad. Like that.
It gets better.
Oh yeah, it gets better. So like, okay, so the tentacle part, like these weird black tentacles grew out of his back, and he pinned me to the wall, and I freaked. I freaked out,
Yeah.
and I took Krynos, and I was still pinned to the wall by even more of them. You know how I got away? He
The
left.
sun came up?
No, he just left. He left, and I just sat there. At least he didn't take my phone.
Does he still have it?
No, left it. He didn't. I don't think he wanted it, really. He just
Wanted you to know that he could take it.
and probably saw that I was using it to call backup, and then when I called off the backup. But yeah, I like, and the freaky part is someone way bigger than me had been in that apartment earlier, like had cleared it, had checked it real fast, marked it off. That's why I went in.
Because it was safe.
Yeah. And he was in there already. I don't know how he got in. I don't know how he got out. But if he can do that, and he's on that side of town, we can't possibly stay at the apartment. Cameras don't work. When I saw him, there were security cameras in the apartment, and there was a laptop there hitched up to them, and I pulled them up, to check them. And he was there. I saw him. He was in the kitchen. He was on the feed. It was live. I could see, like, his hair moving and stuff. Like, I could tell it was a live feed. I checked. And while he was on the live feed, he walked through the fucking door into the room I was in. So cameras don't work. They joked about getting a dog, but I'm not going to be responsible for killing a dog like that. I don't, like, she just shrugs, like, I can't possibly make it safe for us to stay there.
So we find him and we kill him.
I mean, that's the plan, but I mean, look how long it's taken us to take down Patema. She's still here. She's been here for a long time.
It didn't say it would happen tomorrow. But you have... Perhaps you should prioritize the problems that are easier to address.
That is a really good question.
Simpler to address. Easy, maybe not the right word.
It's still a really good question. I don't know where either of them is denning.
They are not just your problems. They are everyone's. That they are here makes them everyone's. You, however.
What?
There are things you have to take care of that no one else can.
There's a bit of a nose scrunch.
Here, on the sept.
Do I even need to ask, really?
Probably not.
Yeah. I've been trying to figure out what to do. I mean, I know what's wrong, but part of the whole Philodox thing is making sure the punishment suits the crime, and there's a lot of crimes. It's kind of this horrible, chimerical amalgamation of fucking up. You weren't here when You weren't here for the promise, were you?
Promise?
She
If
kind of
I was, I must not have been listening.
She just kind of sucks in a breath and shakes her head a little bit. It was a pretty small crowd. We said it too. But I mean, Juno's made mistakes before. And the last time, she kind of holds up a hand like, I know, just let me finish the thing. Like, last time.
She's making a face.
The last time, she pulled together the people that she'd offended, the people that she'd hurt, people that she'd wronged, and she promised to all of them that she would be better than she had been. And I know, like, the hand raises an inch or two, like, I know, as she says, be better. Like, I know that this is the worst possible phrasing ever, but it's still what she said. And I mean, I believed in her. So when people doubted, it was suggested that I would hold her to her promise. I said, yeah. So it's not just her word she broke. And that kind of complicates it.
It is yours.
Yeah.
And you still
What?
I cannot say stand by her, since
Nope.
you are here, but you...
She just starts slightly shaking her head. Like, no.
You should... You have already broken the pact. You should renounce her completely. This is... She's like sputtering.
I'm just trying to figure out the best way to do everything. I'm not blind to what's happened. I know I've been wronged. And I know how bad it is. But I'm trying to find a way to punish what she did that means that I'm keeping to my promise to hold her to it. And I mean, parts of it, hell, I'm handing part of it off to Siggy, because Siggy's the one who gave us each our ranks for that mission, and those weren't respected.
I am given to understand that that is likely to be a beating.
Probably.
Will it help? Does she respond to a beating?
I mean, there's kind of this hapless shrug. Not really. I mean, I don't know. The only beatings that I know of that she ever got weren't for doing anything wrong. They were for just being what she was.
What?
Oh god, do you not
The Ragabash?
know? Oh god. And she starts just kind of rubbing her face, like it kind of ducks into the poncho. Oh god. Okay. There's a huge history. Long story short, she was married to a Gru already when she first changed.
It happens.
They tried to play it cool, and for some reason they let him or let her stay with him, and he was supposed to be combat training her. It wasn't combat training. It was just vicious. And admittedly, he was in a ruin. Every time he looked at her, I'm sure he saw everything that he had hoped to gain in life just gone. And it's not an excuse, but they were both suffering. And it's been a long time. There, he has essentially suffered a rite of ostracism since, practically. She's, of course, been coping with her trauma, which is why she made her previous mistakes and why the promise to be better was a thing, was that she was supposed to have kind of crossed a bridge on that and be better adjusted and attentive to the people around her and responsible for herself and as a foster and responsible for other people. But
Melanthe's just like staring at her and like red in the face, like
oh god, it's a fucking mess. It's one, the arms come up, it's just one giant fucking mess. But in the end, the history of neither person excuses the actions that they've taken since. And it's just a constant compounding fucking spiral of mistakes, I guess, and misjudgments and bad calls. I've lost every packmate I've had except for her. And the worst part is she was the alpha of our pack, but I was the mission lead every time that we lost someone.
because she is not an alpha of anything.
No.
Not of you, not of herself. Nothing.
She's not. And when we talked about, well, first she kind of gestures, because, I mean, Melanthe's a Theurge. More of our packmates were dead than alive. We told Raccoon thank you. I mean,
was there.
that whole thing. And she and I talked afterwards about when we would reform the pack. I told her I was taking Alpha. Yeah, I mean, you're never going to believe me, but she volunteered for Omega.
She has been beaten before. It is not uncommon. I have seen it. We take in women who have suffered.
I mean, Omega's not about beating, it's about grounding.
It depends.
It does depend.
Pack.
It does. But if I were to be Alpha to her Omega,
it would not be, because you are not that kind of person.
No.
And because you know it wouldn't fix anything.
No. Sometimes for an Arun, they just need to hit something, but there's plenty of trees and chairs
She's
and
not an
tables.
Arun.
I mean, like,
Did she?
I don't mean
She?
her.
What? No.
I mean, look, I'm not saying it because she's Omega, but if there was an Arun running heavy.
No, 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 no.
What?
She's not an Arun.
Who?
She acts like one.
No, she's a Ragabash.
Is she though?
Weirdly enough, she's a lot better at being a Ragabash in private than she is in public. I know you wouldn't believe that she did it at all, but when she's calm and she's centered, she is actually pretty good at getting people to just say what they need to say and ask the questions that help them get to the right conclusion. She just is fucking awful at doing it where anyone else can see.
Or for herself. But no, that's not and she's kind of like rubbing her face and doing that hand wave thing, like, I had a thought.
Sure, we'll just like let her take a second.
She's not fulfilling who she is supposed to be, who she has promised to be. Maybe she needs to be someone else.
I mean, if it was that easy, that'd be pretty shit hot.
It can be done.
There's kind of that like
Easy
it is her turn to look skeptical.
Probably easy is not the word for it. If I maybe it's only a story, but there are Garu sometimes who do not fit. They're not right. The path is, they walked the wrong branch. They were born under the wrong moon. You can, I think you, I would have to ask the right master. But she would have to be willing. And you still have to take care of everything between you.
Yeah.
Regardless. First.
Yeah. No, I know. I've been thinking a lot. There's a million types of punishment that I've seen. There's a million types of punishment that I've heard of. There's unconventional shit, there's creative shit, and then there's just the rights we learn. And I can only think of like one thing that's harsh enough to make the point.
And?
But not needlessly brutal.
And?
I just wanted to make sure I was making the right choice before I did it. So because I do have to consider how it looks coming from me as a Philodox who's directly involved.
Who is, so bring another one in. Someone who is is there anyone impartial?
There's kind of a wincing look. this point, I mean, I'm not sure. It's not really technically the Master Challenge's grounds. I could bring in the Truth Catcher, but she pulls this grimace like, ugh.
You can always ask for advice. You do not have to take anyone's advice. You can always ask.
That's true. That's a thing I could do. And a thing I probably should do.
I do not remember all of the stories, especially those, because they were not as interesting. But
she kind of grits.
There is the word, the things that go before. But the legal word.
Precedent?
Yes. There is almost always precedent.
Yeah. Precedent.
Your language is terrible.
It is.
I'm sorry,
No, that's just true. That's a fact.
Okay.
Pretty sure if I had to learn English as a second language, I'd want to, like, rip all my hair out.
Knowing Greek helps a little. Some of the words, you understand?
I'm pretty sure English is just three languages stacked on top of each other in a trench coat. Running around rifling people's pockets for loose grammar.
I would argue. Oh, you were quite possibly correct.
I mean, it wouldn't be such a popular meme if it wasn't true. She kind of shrugs and grins.
This is fair. So, go ask for advice.
Yeah. It's just been
terrible for everyone.
She just kind of rubs the back of her head. Yeah, it's been fucking awful. I have this great new apartment, which is something I really wanted that I can't stay in.
But you will have eventually.
I've got this cabin that I could stay in. And I do go by because I do like seeing Freya and Alice moved in and everything, but I don't really stay there.
I've been sleeping in the dirt.
Why the
it is eye-opening.
You at least have a den or something?
No.
Did you ever learn how to dig one?
Nope.
It's one of the only fun parts of, like, Lupus class, man.
Digging.
Kind of digging out a den? Did you, like, you could do tunnels and shit? I mean, that's excessive. You really just need a decent place to curl up out of the weather, but... Well, at least out of the direct weather.
Big, heavy pine branch. Not so bad.
Wouldn't get rained on.
Very heavy pine branch.
Okay. Fair.
Drier than you think.
What about the wind?
She kind of shrugs. It's not necessarily meant to be comfortable. Just educational.
Fair.
Besides, don't worry about it.
You know, if you want, I could just start crashing out with you. And that way you wouldn't be as cold. Sleep in Lupus, warm and fuzzy.
If you are that determined not to stay in a bed.
I mean, I'm staying in my old room in the Raven's place usually when I don't fall asleep on the couch. Or Lena's. I haven't really had a particular bed I've been playing favorites with. Are you sleeping at night?
Yeah.
Okay, maybe not sleeping so much as keeping company, but still, it's warmer.
Then I would be grateful.
She just kind of gives a little nod. I mean, the other upside is, I guess, at least if you have to sleep outside, you can do it kind of in cat naps.
Yeah, I wake up if I'm too cold and move. I haven't been sleeping so well anyway. So
That's okay. I haven't been sleeping like normal people for ages, and I haven't been sleeping any better after running into like thingy mix bites like a bear trap and
giant
badly rubs her shoulder.
tentacles.
Huh?
Wait, bites? What bit you?
Uh,
The lychee?
yep.
Ugh. Let me see.
I mean, it's she kind of has to do some shuffling with the layers, but does manage to like kind of pull down like 3 layers worth of clothes to show the side of like the joint of the neck and the shoulder. Like it's gone now, but it was like getting caught in a bear trap. It was bad.
There's squinting occurs.
It was really, really bad. Like I've seen combat. I've been kind of fucked up in combat. I jumped off a cliff. You were there. But
Yes.
this hurt more. This hurt way more. I can't think of anything that's ever hurt that much.
We will make a to-do list for you.
I like lists.
First, the truth catcher
Oh boy.
or advice.
Yep.
Also, when did you eat last? Solid food.
Give me a second. It'll come to me. Because Maria's always shoving food at me every time I come through. And I was there for a little bit this morning. Yeah. No, Maria shoved food at me this morning.
Good. Then truth catcher first.
Yep.
And I need to go talk to the spirits, I think. For your head.
If that works, I will maybe not literally, but at least metaphorically open mouth kiss you. I will be so happy. Because I don't like things saying, oh, the cavalry's coming. You just tell them to not. And me actually just doing it. Like, that was the best idea I've ever heard in my life. I was not okay. I don't know why I did it. I was scared shitless and I still did it.
I will ask questions.
She kind of helplessly shrugs. Maybe if I have, like, a lot of cameras. I don't know.
Machines do not fix everything.
They don't. They don't. But sometimes they help. And I mean, I don't know how he tricked one camera, but I don't know.
One thing at a time.
It would
First.
just be really nice to actually stay in the place that I was actually going to have be my home.
First, fix this home.
Ugh. She kind of rubs at her face again. I'm gonna level with you on a painful level. I don't know what to do. I don't know if I can take her as pack at this point. I know if I do, our Timmy and the others will straight swear off of us as a whole, and I don't want to do that to them, and I don't want to do that to anyone that packs with me. They only helped Juno because I came and I asked them to.
I do not think that consideration is a now. Your pack can be much lower on the list. First, you must be whole. You, and she reaches out and like taps her on the forehead, and your mind and your soul, and taps her on the chest, and your honor must be whole.
She finally gets this kind of numbly, almost kind of compliant little nod that kind of like, okay, the adults went and pointed out the obvious. Like, it's just this numb little nod of like, yeah.
Worry about pack later.
Yeah. Man. You know, I always say this is balls, but this is even more balls than usual.
It is not what I expected when I came here.
Yeah, me neither.
I expected things to be simpler. And it turns out when you leave the place where people are making things simple for you, it gets harder.
Yeah. As she says yeah and kind of glances off, I'll invite another peony.
And you can peony her as well, because
I will. Peonies for everybody.
Yep. That's a yep.
Yup. So I think we each got two.
We did.
I get the feeling it's going to be a very similar kind of guilty look. I don't know. But yeah, Charlotte's got a touch of that guilty face.
Melanthes is less of a guilty face and more of a maybe didn't think this through real clearly. There was some
This was an emotion
impulsiveness,
based decision.
maybe a little bit of hubris involved. She's not regretting it per se, but there's definitely a recognition that this isn't going as easily as she'd expected, and she probably deserves that.
In Charlotte's case, to match that, it's one of those things where it's like, yeah, it's not as easy when people aren't making it easy for you. And the guilty glance is like, yeah, she recognizes that at some point, maybe her folks, someone was making things easier, and maybe at this point, even now, she feels like people are taking some of the weight off her shoulders. And all things considered, with her current performance levels, she's feeling kind of guilty about the fact that they either have to or that she's doing this poorly when they are.
So,
And I thought
And-
I was hot shit for a minute there,
I have been subject to the same misconception.
Yep.
Yeah. But I asked for this. So
Yeah, it's.
I will learn.
I mean, look on the bright side. You're getting the eagle eye in on how much more it starts sucking when you hit foster, and so yeah, just be ready to take hold of your hat, or it'll fly the fuck off. I don't know.
It took me 2 years just to make Cleith. So
I mean, the learning curve here seems to be either steep or dead, so I'm hoping you're aiming for steep.
there are fewer um, speed bumps here, so I will try to get a running start.
I mean, all things considered, the way you've been able to help me already, I don't think it'll take long.
I there are people I get advice from as well. You're you're thought of fondly by many.
No, she gets almost a little bashful. I'm trying, man. I know you can't make everyone happy, but I keep trying.
That may be the mistake.
Yeah, well. Weighing out the greater good is still a bitch, even when you accept that you can't make everyone happy.
But that is how things are. That is how life is.
Yeah, but life sucks. She finally just flops back.
Yes, but not everything can flourish. Some things must fail for other things to advance. Sometimes. That is like hunting.
It's actually kind of a chortle. She kind of points over.
What?
You're one of the first people bothering to talk wild to a glasswalker, and I appreciate it because I kind of get it.
You're
Grinning.
not what I expected of glasswalkers.
I have no idea if I'm a good one, but hey, I'm on. I don't know. I seem to be doing okay.
You have not yet called me a feminazi savage or attempted to hit me with a briefcase, so
What's with the savage thing? Is that a
I
thing? Does that happen a lot? She kind of turns her head over. She's still just laying back where she flopped.
she kind of shrugs like I've heard stories.
I mean, so super down low, but I know, like, you've met, like, this Maria, right? The one on this sept. Fiona Galliard.
Yes, met.
Yeah. She has said the same kind of stuff before. Like, she half expects people, or, like, even me, like, and we've known each other for ages, but it's almost like she's just waiting for someone to call her a savage. And I mean, y'all got some good old culture going on, but I like to think we've gotten past the calling anything different a savage stage.
Melinda kind of looks at her.
What?
I just kind of looks at her for a minute, like, staring. I would have liked to think that we had gotten over name calling everything that was different as well, but as the past, however long it was, in the snow.
Oh, yeah. Let's not compare to that because that was shit, and that was not us. That was. I am not responsible for how any of them behave. I promise not to call you a feminazi savage. Sage nod.
And I will attempt to curb all of the insults for your tribe as well. She kind of smiles.
There's a bit of a smirk.
There are a lot of them.
Yeah. Yeah. Back long while ago. Back when I first joined our pack, back when everything was new and pretty good. There was this bone gnar named Santos. And he was a fucking hoot. And I don't know, we got to the point where we just high-fived and said hashtag Team Ura and called it good because I guess you gotta own it. Haven't had Team Ura in a while though.
Blythe's just looking at her with that like polite expression that says, "I'm listening, but what you just said is clearly not in a language that I understand."
Oh, well, just add that to the list of slurs. That is one of them. There is usually what pretty much everyone else calls us in the Bone Gnars, kind of.
And the bone gnar
City
follows
wolf.
owl?
What?
Hoot? Yes, no.
No, that is slang. Sorry. Too many weird words. Nah, Ura is just city folk, but not in so nice kind of way generally. Let's put it this way. I think it's funny. Darkened Web might punch you full in the face or something, or I don't know.
I am not going to use words I do not understand to yell at people. That is...
You are smarter than a lot of people then. Congratulations. You moved up the rungs. Kind of grinning.
Besides, I know plenty of terrible words, I think, but I am learning new ones every day.
Cussing evolves pretty fast. It's always a new word.
And the more languages you know, the more exciting it gets.
That does sound pretty fucking exciting.
She kind of nods and then kind of nods again with that like very firm, like, okay.
You good?
Better, I think. I wanted to yell at you for a while, which is why I did not talk much while you were teaching me the right.
Sorry again about the whole display.
What? It's your job. That is what your auspice does.
I was also just kind of really worried she was gonna mangle
Kill
or
me?
kill you. More likely kill you, and it was the best
Probably.
thing I could think of that would be vicious.
I
enough to
told
make
you
her
then. I told you then that you were correct, and I was not angry.
Still just
That
not
is
my
still
preferred
true.
method of reinforcement.
When one is short on time, sometimes the work is not ideal. But I am not dead, and you were correct. And being bitter about you performing your duties as a Philodox and quite possibly saving my life would be stupid. So,
Well, for what it's worth, at this point you've kind of given me the hookup several times over. So I'm just gonna tell you the same thing I've told like Cassie before. I kind of have, at least when we're like this, she kind of waves around like there's other people out in the crags, but nobody really listens to anyone else's conversations. Everyone's kind of doing their own thing, and there's usually some distance between people. At least like this, where nobody's listening, where there's no social kickback or political kickback. If you need to say something to my face, you can just say it to my fucking face. Like, I know we've got a little bit of a rank gap going. I don't think it'll last, to be honest, but I'd rather people just be straight up with me. And I'd
yelling
rather
would
just
not
be
have
straight up
helped.
with you. Yeah,
And
fair.
it would have made many things worse. So,
Yeah, but if you ever have a thing that you need to say at me with maybe not a raised voice, but some feeling and conviction, like once you've got your shit together, kind of like makes the little circling hand gesture. Once you've got your shit together, don't stress coming and just saying you need to talk and telling me like it is.
I will remember that. For now, I am out of tea, and you need to talk to other people.
Oh God, I should so put this poncho away before I go to talk to him. Ooh.
I, I could not say one way or the other.
I mean, it's. I am not going to say things I will regret. He's just a very, very observant, very smart, terrifyingly clever man, and I.
He did not reach his position by accident, though.
Nope.
They never do.
Nope. Nope. So I'm just gonna not carry giant neon signs with me while I go to talk to him. I mean, he'll know I've been wearing it around, but shrugs.
Do you know what you are going to say and ask?
Yeah. And I'm gonna say and ask it as respectfully as humanly possible, because he is a man who does not like his time wasted. Very brief, very polite. And I will say, yes, Raya. Thank you, Raya. I appreciate the advice and the insight, Raya. And then I will fuck off at the speed of light.
She nods, because that's good.
Oh, wait. I just thought of a thing.
Hmm?
Kind of points over. I thought of a thing. Sits up, like, does the little scramble shuffle. Um, when I was at that apartment, checking out, shit, doing my job,
Yes.
there was a Theurge with us, and he said that there were shadow spirits around, and they were freaked the fuck out. Shadow, darkness, something like that. And they
They're
were
different,
scared.
related.
But yeah,
And
it's the only thing I remember that was really Theurgy about it. Oh God. Oh wait. No, I already got Okay, but yeah.
Which god?
Yes. Whichever one is listening and benevolent right now.
That narrows it down.
I know, right? Um, but yeah, that's the one super theurgy thing. And actually, I need to ask how much I can complicate everything ever. But if you are trying to figure things out, they were there, and I think they were scared of him. There wasn't. He didn't mention any other Banes around or anything that might have been scaring them. So maybe.
I can ask them, but that is the most logical thing to do.
I mean, I don't. It was maybe Runs knows more. He's runs through jungle, the Adrian Glasswalker.
I do not think we have met.
He's kind of evasive. Not of the most
Shrugs
talkative
like that's
guy.
his prerogative.
Kind of shrugs. Yeah, same thing, really. She doesn't say it in any bad kind of way.
I will Who is the theurge again?
Runs through the jungle. He's an Adrian Glasswalker and a Theurge.
Of course.
Yeah. Shrug. He was the guy watching the other side for me.
I should probably find him and ask what he knows before I redo things he has already done.
Figured it'd save you a step, maybe.
No, that's good. I just.
And yeah, I need to actually. She pulls out her phone and literally like pulls up a little text document, like a little notepad thing, and immediately taps in Truthcatcher. Next tab is Glasswalker regarding project expansion.
Melandy's just like kind of standing there watching, like, okay.
Yeah. She's like, she's literally making herself a list on the spot.
Oh, that's good.
And yeah, she types in a couple more things so she just doesn't forget, and finally starts clamoring up. And with Melanthi up as well, we'll even grab up her little tarpy blankety monstrosity and give it a bit of a shake-a and loosely flop it over an arm because she's gonna have to hang it somewhere to make sure it dries out.
Yep.
Okay. Gotcha. Doing stuff. Yes. I can do stuff.
Yes.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And,
sorry.
The brow kind of quirks?
In general.
Oh. Appreciate it. It's always nice to know people are watching and sympathizing, even if there's not a lot to do or not a lot they've done to cause it.
Not everyone would agree on the last point, maybe, but yes.
Shrugs. We all made ridiculous mistakes out there, and I'm not sure any one of us can be really pointing fingers.
I fell in a river.
I mean, Alice fell in a lake.
Yelled at the Alpha of a Sept.
Yeah, I mean, I cussed out a couple of Wendigo. I mean, that worked
That
out.
ended surprisingly well for you.
It actually did. I finally actually snapped at one of them, like teeth and all snapped at him. It actually worked out pretty good, but not the smartest thing I've ever done. I also wasted a lot of time trying to bring life back to a downed helicopter.
You what?
You remember how you saw the camp and everything, like how generators and everything that was Weavery was exploded?
Yes.
Okay, I found a downed helicopter and I wasted, must have been a good, I don't know, hours even. It felt like over an hour trying to get the radio back to life, trying to reconnect wires, trying to get anything to work because I thought I could make contact and get us some reinforcements. And that is actually where the Wendigo found me. I heard them coming and tried to hide in the engine, like up under the hood, as it were.
You are lucky you did not make contact with the other side and bring in reinforcements.
Yeah, fair.
But what's done is done.
Yeah. It was all just one big shit show. I mean, we got mission success, which is kind of impressive, really. It's not as much success as I'd been hoping to get by time we finished, but we still managed to do what we were sent out there to do. That's something, right?
Of course. In the future, we will have to find the child of the worm that is mangling the dead into monsters and
If it helps, I'm working on it.
remove them.
I
But that
had
is
some information I managed to get, and I've passed it all on to where we can look up, try to find this guy, try to look into the company. Like, this is the one place where we kind of shine.
yeah. So
But hey, don't worry, I'll give you a heads up, and we can go and viciously mangle him back, and it'll be weirdly satisfying, really.
not weird at all.
Yeah, it'll just be kind of justly satisfying at this point.
She's just kind of like staring pensively at a rock, like jaw's kind of tight. Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna let you go, and I'm gonna go and be a productive member of society.
I am going to go make more tea and
Scream into the wind until you feel better.
perhaps.
Shrugs. Look on the bright side, you're a Thayard. You can do stuff like that. No one will even ask. They'll just think it's Shimonage. And it grins. I mean, I always assume it's Shimonage. You don't ask Thayarges while they do weird things. It's always Shimonage.
I will remember that the next time I do something stupid.
Do it. You get plus 10 points if I know that it's something that you did that was just stupid and you still pull it off. Because I want to be able to kind of snicker on the inside too. I'm not going to lie.
Very well.
She'll give a nod now with a little bit of a grin. And give an idle wave with the free hand and start the, I mean, not as treacherous as it could be, climb back down to the crevasse so she can walk out.
And she will head back towards the public housing to make more tea because she needs another cup of tea.
Needs so much tea. All right. Then I think for now, we can call that a scene. So thank you, player, for playing. And thank you, watchers, for watching. And we will see you next time in another thrilling episode of These Two Bitches Kvetching.